All right, all right. Let's wait a little. Get get a couple more people in here and throw a little banner up there for everyone. We'll get going here. Put anything in the comments. Nice and simple. Roquan traded. There we go. All right, starting to get some more people in here, so we can get right into it. We may have to. All right. Well, I'll get to Bigfoot Loch Ness next after this one. We'll start with Lee. Lee, you're saying Roquan is definitely worth a first. I agree if he was on maybe his full contract. Straighten this out for you guys. If he was maybe on a big boy contract right at kind of probably next year when it gets extended by whoever, whether it's the Ravens or whoever he ends up going with, that's when I would probably give him the big boy contract, but or give up a first for it. But no, not an expiring deal, off ball linebacker. I don't know. I think this is probably where, at least this is what I'm thinking. This is where I'm coming from. I think Bigfoot Loch Ness nailed it here. Second and a fifth is good to me. Roquan Smith wasn't playing like $100 million linebacker this year. Now maybe you could package some picks to get to up to a first in the draft. I agree. I think that's a great point. Ryan Poles is planning for the long haul. He's not planning on paying an off-ball linebacker. That's just is what it is. Let's see. Disagree. I mean, so you're Scotty G disagreeing with it here. He's leading the league in tackles. Only one in the top 10 in tackles who have more than one sack. I agree. He's definitely tackling a lot of guys, that's for sure. But I think, as we saw yesterday with the Dallas Cowboys, I think that is the reason he's leading the team in tackles is because nobody else is making tackles, if that makes sense. So there's so many holes. It was absolutely something we had to do. I'm happy we didn't let him just walk. Here, let's first Quinn. Now this, yes, I wonder if it got sped up. If this got sped up because of the Quinn deal, and obviously not even saying from Poles' end. I'm saying from Roquan's end, if that makes sense. He was crying. Obviously, he was very upset that Quinn left, and maybe he kind of just put his foot down and said, "Hey, we're making a decision right here, right now." So obviously, we're getting a lot more people in here. So little recap before we keep going. Roquan Smith traded to the traded to the Ravens, which I was surprised. Let me know if you guys were surprised by this little Ian Rappaport bomb, like a Woj bomb. I did not didn't see it coming on early Halloween morning, real spooky, but I think it was the right move. We got a second and a fifth pick for, I believe, so it is for the 2023 draft. So this upcoming draft year from the Ravens. I think it's the right move. I do think he was probably going to walk at the end of the year because I don't think we would have given him his full $20 million a year or whatever it was contract he wanted. Obviously, there were issues. So let's get back to the comments here. You guys, you guys are blowing it up. I love it. I love it. I'll get to as many as I can. So, what did we get for him? We got a second and a fifth, second round and fifth round from the Ravens. Hate to lose him, but understandable. This is a good comment right here. I think that sums up. Obviously, you want a good player on your team. That's, I think we can all agree with that. But this isn't baseball. There's a salary cap. There's stuff you got to do to try to become a contender again, especially being the Bears, having an offensive line that slightly played better this past week, but still having so many holes, having no wide receivers, having no defensive linemen now. That there is so much we have to do. Smart trade from Poles' standpoint. Agreed, Chris. I think you hit it on the head here. Okay, so Lee, this is ridiculous. The Bears should have kept him. He was our whole defense. If Eddie gets injured, we're screwed. Absolutely. You're very correct. However, this was not a trade for this year. This is a trade for next year, the year after, 2 years down the road, whatever it may be. we're gonna have to there it's getting to the point too where we're gonna have to start thinking about paying Jalen Johnson. We're gonna have to start thinking about paying Darnell Mooney. Like these are guys that we're gonna have to prioritize over a player like this. I love Roquan. I think he was incredible. I think he is incredible. I think he's going to be amazing on the Ravens, and I'm happy for him. Honestly, I think he's going to do great things on the Ravens. It was kind of just a we were probably off by about a year. It's like our windows were open at different times. His window, our window. It just kind of two ships passing in the night, which is unfortunate. But uh, let's go get Tremaine Edmonds. Sure, why not? I mean, we what I do like about what I like about these trades, we're acquiring draft picks. Obviously, we want to draft good players. We want to build a good team. Like I get that, you know. At the same time, we can flip them for real players to turn into a real contender. Let's say we have a good free agency, you know, we sign a lot of players in free agency that we want that we think can at least put us on the cusp of competing, just something to shore up some holes. We can then flip those, you know, we can then flip guys in the future, flip picks, I apologize, for some real players to turn us into a real contender. I think that's, you know, a great way to look at it. Thankfully, this is a good comment here. Thankfully, he was traded outside of our conference. I couldn't agree more. Very happy he didn't go in division or in conference. Um, I can't imagine. Yeah, I don't think we'll see the Ravens for a while. I think we played them what would that have been last year. So I think it's the right move. Stats aren't everything. Sorry. Oh my gosh, you guys are blowing it up here. I think we're getting younger, but what does this draft class even look like right now? Wide receiver heavy, very wide receiver heavy, which I think is something that we obviously, obviously need help in, and especially the free agent wide receiver class is very light, very light. Um, I know my co-host Nick was posting about the top free agents, wide receiver free agents up this coming year. Nelson Aguilar is is one of the top names on there. So if that doesn't answer your question, then there you go. Oh man, you guys are I love this. Keep putting your comments in. I promise I'll get to as many as I can here. You guys are funny. I love all this. Let's go with I'm surprised that they treated him, but with I assume like the way that they treated him, but with all things, you know, hey, hopefully things will work out for him and the other team. I agree. I think it was mutually the right move at this time for everyone involved. I think it was another one of those kind of with Roquan. I think Poles is making good moves. Here we go. I love it. Stockpiling picks and saving money is what a competent front office does. Yes, yes, yes. Ryan Poles he's doing what he said. He didn't mince words. He didn't say outright we are trading Roquan Smith at the start of the year when he got hired or anything. But it was this is there's a new regime. We're gonna do whatever we can to build for the future. If that means blowing up the present to build for the future, we will. You know, and he is, and that's our defense. Oh, yeah, Ravens fans, you're welcome. If there's any Ravens fans in here, your defense is absolutely stacked. Very happy I have them in fantasy. There you go. If you're on the stream right now and you don't have you think you can get the Ravens defense in fantasy, there you go. It's a little give me the credit whenever you do time. All right, another one here. Time to tank to rebuild in 3 to 5 years. Bears will be competitive, or 3 to 4. I apologize. I don't think it'll be that long. I think we have so much money in the bank right now, and we are getting more picks. Obviously, the picks need time to develop. They're still, you know, they'll all be young players, but we have so many, or we have so much cap space. There is a legitimate chance that if we just say screw it, we're going to spend like no tomorrow, which I hope they actually don't do. I hope that they're a little smarter about it. I hope they're not like the Rams where it's completely over the cap or whatever it is. There is a chance that it kind of gets turned around overnight, which is crazy to think about. But you do have to make some of these moves to be more sustainable long term. So let's see. Excited to see what next year's NFL draft will bring us. Yeah, we're gonna. Hey, it seems like we're gonna be on the clock a lot, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, yeah. I think we just like training with the birds teams. Maybe I don't the fierce birds teams, right? Ravens are fierce. I don't actually know, but Give Jalen Johnson an extension right now. Absolutely. That's something that I always think of when I've been thinking of when we've been making these moves is we're going to have to pay him soon. We don't, obviously it didn't work out with Kyle Fuller. It seems to be that the Bears made the right move, but I think Jalen Johnson is not Kyle Fuller. I think he is far better. And I think he absolutely deserves it. And no reason we shouldn't lock up such a priority player right now. So I totally agree with this. I'm gonna go past that one, saying that they basically disagree with Ryan Poles and not maybe the nicest language. Um, there we go. All the money in picks is great. Now we're spending 22 plus million a year on Smith. Yeah, again, we're gonna keep hammering it home because this is a Roquan. This is about Roquan Smith here. I totally agree. The biggest thing was, and everyone, if you talk to other people, I'm sure you guys have seen online or you've talked to whoever you've seen. Oh, if he'll just take 3 years. Oh, if he'll just take a little less. He didn't want to. That was the biggest thing. He did not want to take any less. He was his own agent, which is fine, and I'm happy for him. Don't pay that 10% if you don't have to. I completely respect that. But he knew what he wanted, and he knew if he wasn't going to get it here, he was going to get it somewhere else. So that's kind of where the Bears were put in a rock and a hard place, and I totally agree with it. Time for Jack Sam Brown to shine. Yeah. Oh, get a lot of Sam Brown comments in here. I'm loving it. So okay, here's a dissenting opinion here. This is a bad trade, man. Ravens are probably going to be a top 4 seed winning the AFC North. Roquan is worth more than a late second. Well, we also got a fifth. So there you go. There's a little more, but I do agree that it was right place, right time for the Ravens. That's why I think it is good for everyone here. I think the Bears were probably going to start to get a little desperate with what they would move him for, especially because maybe they'd tag him at the end of the year. But even if you tag him, then it's only one more year and you're paying him a ton of money. And it just felt like the right thing to just get him off the books. Let's go to another one here. I liked 58, but he wasn't 54 in his prime. Agreed, and they weren't going to pay him like a great trade, and hopefully 58 has a chance to compete with Baltimore, win all around. I think that's the sentiment I'm getting from you guys, and I haven't been on Twitter much. I just saw the breaking news and tweeted about it, but obviously I've been on here, so I think that we seem to all be in agreement. Get some bigger body dudes with speed. Smith was fast but small, hard to fear that. Carson Wentz did kind of knock him around. It's unfortunate, but I think Roger Gold. Oh, related to Robbie Gold is good name. Good name. I do hope that they go for, like you said, that speed over just like the big, bulky kind of traditional, I guess, just football player. I don't even know. I do hope we become that young, that speedy team, kind of like the Ravens. It's funny that the Ravens are kind of my model for what I think this team could be, where they have the quarterback that can throw the ball, though people didn't think he could, and absolutely an elite runner. I think that, and obviously building in the offensive line, and then the defense coming around. We obviously help them shore up their defense, but hopefully we're in a position in a couple of years where we're the ones trading that second and the fifth for a Roquan type player. I'm totally okay with that. Let's see. Let's be honest. We got 2 picks for him. We were not going to pay him 100 million. Gives you ammo to trade up into the 4th if you wanted with multiple fifths. Yeah, I mean there are a ton of different options now that we have as we kind of continue to stockpile these draft picks. We were not going to pay him. The fact that we kind of it was kind of a bluff. Honestly, it feels like Poles kind of bluffed out. I don't know who else is involved. I'm sure we'll find out if there was anybody else in on him, but he definitely bluffed out the Ravens. Probably because it was like, oh yeah, we're getting tons of calls. We can't wait to keep him. We'll re-sign him, and then like, all right, we'll give you a couple picks for it. It seemed to work out. All right, Jake, might as well trade Monty. I don't think they will. I wouldn't be surprised if they tag him, I think, and then maybe look to do something. I don't know what necessarily, but this with now Roquan being gone, I can see Monty being the franchise tag player, kind of make sure Khalil Herbert's ready, maybe spend a late draft pick on a running back, pick someone up in free agency. As a we have our Ravens fans in here. As a Ravens fan, thank you, Bears Nation. You're welcome. Thank you for helping us out there with actually getting us something back, so he didn't Roquan didn't just walk. Again, I think it's a win for both teams. I really do, and for Roquan, I think it's a win for everybody involved. We'll do about 5 more minutes, unless you guys, if you guys are staying in, I guess I can keep going. But I was thinking doing it in about 20 minutes. So let's see. We need yes, we do need wideouts. I completely agree. Wideouts are probably it. Obviously, I want to focus on offensive line, and our defense giving up 50 points or 49 to be exact was brutal, brutal, brutal. However, Justin Fields has shown that he can make plays. He can make these reads. He can kind of work around a trash offensive line when he's not getting, speared in the chin immediately by Lawrence. But I do think having a couple of we gotta get at least at least two guys, at least two decent receivers, two upgrades, I'd call them, for next year. Even if we do focus on the offensive line, the defensive line, whatever it is, and we're maybe looking for the next free agency class, just because it is a very weak free agent class. I think we should focus on wide receiver in the upcoming draft, because it is a strong wide receiver draft. How many good linebackers are there in the next draft? Doesn't matter. Linebacker is in my opinion, and maybe I'm wrong. You guys can let me know if I'm totally wrong here, the running back of defense, if that makes sense. I think it is. I think it's important. Obviously, we've seen Brian or I, the Chicago Bears have seen the importance of linebackers. I think, I don't want to undersell that there. However, I think you can get a lot of production for lower value a lot of places. Just to kind of put it nice and general, right? Like that here. First 3 picks need to be wide receiver. I said it on one of our things. We got to go with, if you guys remember, any baseball fans in here, the Los Angeles Angels. I think they picked 20 straight pitchers in a row or something crazy in whatever, a couple years ago in the draft class. One has to turn out. It's funny for the Angels, it probably won't, but for the Bears, I mean, one of them has to be, an elite wide receiver. So I like this. Just go all in on one position. Just take it 1 year at a time. We can do offensive line the next year. We can figure it out. Need big D tackles, pass rusher, big athletic linebackers, defense still winning rings. Yeah, not for the Bears, unfortunately. We got to focus on offense first. It's been since 1985. We've been focusing on defense, which 1985 it worked, and I'm fully okay with it. I would give anything to have a team like that win a Super Bowl in this era. We have to build an offense. I do agree that, look at the Bills. The Bills defense is fantastic. The Ravens their defense just got better. I do agree that matters, but we have to be competent on offense. And Justin has us part of the way there, considering he's officially better than Aaron Rodgers now. I think that's just a fact. And I think we got to focus on build from the offense to the defense, in my opinion. Stock up on all the draft capital and finally pick a high wide receiver in the draft as well as offensive line. Works for me as well. Our first 3 picks, we can get wide receiver, offensive line, and defensive tackle. You know what? That works too. Spread the love around. I like it. Just kind of, attack all the problems at once. That will absolutely be our our biggest needs in the coming draft. Let's see. I want to read one of my signed Roquan helmet and ball. Damn it. Yeah. Well, we'll see what we can do to help you out there. Honestly, that might be worth more after being on the Ravens, especially if he balls out on the Ravens and wins a Super Bowl with the Ravens or something. So you might have actually stumbled into a little more cash right there. Let's see. We're not going to be buyers in this season in a rebuild year. We have so many other needs, and the way Khalil Herbert has been playing, and Ebner behind him, and then apparently Velus Jones, Monty is gone. Yeah, no, I agree with that. I wasn't saying otherwise. I wasn't saying. I don't know if that was directed at me specifically or someone in the comments. I agree with you. I don't. We're not going to be buyers. Yeah, this year in the off season, I think we will be. We are. It is building up. It's like I think a pendulum. I don't know, like a stock market graph, whatever, where troughs and peaks. I think we're finally hitting that trough, and we're gonna have that. The off season is gonna be just kind of that little trough where we have 100 and I don't even know now 140 million in cap space, and we can just ball out, or we can handle the extensions, kind of go small maybe, and then save it for maybe what we think is a better class the next year. Focus on a lot more wide receivers, maybe a couple trades. Either way, this will push us into the top 7 in the draft too. Yeah, I don't hate the idea of trading up. I uh, see, see a couple more good comments in here. I don't. This will push us in the top 7 of the draft. I don't hate the idea of trading up. I hate it a little bit only because I think we have so many holes that we're not in a we're just one elite wide receiver away. We're one elite offensive lineman away. We're like 14 positions that we probably need to fill, including now obviously linebacker, but that's not a we don't have to prioritize that in the draft. So I don't hate it, and especially if you can get that generational talent you believe in that top 7, go get your guy. I do think we could do that, but I don't know. I think we should probably take as many swings as we can, especially where we're at too. I mean, it's not like we're crazy. We're not probably not going to end up with a great record. We're not going to be crazy far down the list. I hate being a Bears fan. I understand this year is going to be a little rough. Enjoy Justin Fields. Justin Fields got that little number 1 jersey on right now. He is the greatest, potentially going to be the greatest quarterback the Bears have ever had. And not that saying much, but just enjoy him and, get excited for the draft coming up next year. I love it. Stockpiling picks and saving money is what a competent front office does. Yes, yes, yes. Where's Nick? Nick is working. He was saying so specifically he just doesn't have as much love for you guys as I do. I was like, Nick, that's crazy talk. But he insisted. So either way, I am here. Nickel, I assume will do something tonight or early tomorrow morning because this is obviously huge, huge news. Nick will be back. So let's see. Bears have most money under the cap, 120 million. I heard. Yeah, I think I've been playing Madden as well, so I've been getting a little confused with my cap space and the Bears or the Bears cap space in that and my cap space. I traded Robert Quinn at the start of the year like a smart guy. It worked out well. Thank you, Nick. There's Nick Rody, everyone. I'm doing great. I appreciate it. Probably do a couple more minutes here. Finish. Oh, actually, no. We got 140 people in here. Just keeps bouncing up. Let's see. Looking on here, not a lot of Ravens fans celebrating. Last week we rated your stream rating Eagles fans everywhere. Our fan base is better. Yup, fly Eagles fly. I don't have a dog in the fight here. I don't care about either team necessarily. Like I don't hate, don't love either way. But I think that's a pretty good metric. I think that's a pretty good metric. Fly Eagles fly. Go Phillies. Astros are cheaters. Let's see. Let's see. Been loving JJ. People didn't like that pick. Yep. I mean, that's probably the best. That's one of the best draft picks we've made in a while. Like just in general, made in a while. Like I don't think now that seems like the most obvious take in the world, of course. But at the time, I agree. It wasn't a slam dunk. Like it wasn't. No one was like, oh, he's not going to get targeted for this first like 4 games because he's just that elite of a lockdown corner. So I do agree. Let's see. Remember when Eagles had $2 billion cap space, went out and signed the whole free agency class and was bad? Yeah. So that's the thing. It's not going to be, money isn't going to make the team good necessarily. Signing the right players will. And that's what's going to be important this coming year. I have faith in Ryan Poles. He seems to be making the right decisions. And I know people are mad at him for not going in on this year, not going after the wide receiver, the huge wide receiver market, which was everyone got way too overpaid. Christian Kirk, looking at you. Everyone got paid a ton of money this past offseason. I'm happy he kind of sat out of it. I wish he maybe made a move purely just so Justin Fields doesn't get absolutely killed out there. Or even if it is just signing a young player that, maybe teams aren't totally sold on, but it's kind of a swing we can take with the cap space we knew we'd have. And I don't know. I don't want to judge you. I'm happy with Ryan Poles. I don't want to be negative. I don't want to say he's not doing, the right thing. Let's see. Okay. Your prediction for the earliest the Bears will be contenders. Earliest is 2 years. I think next year. So I know I assume a lot of us in here are Chicago sports fans. I'm a White Sox fan personally, but I have watched the Cubs. I know whatever you want to know about the Cubs. The Cubs, I'll use them as an example. In 2015, they kind of made that, whoa, we didn't think we were going to be good yet. We thought that was going to be next year kind of run. I think the Bears will do that next year. And then I think it's on. And so that'll be our, so what, 2023 will be our Cubs 2015. 2024 will be our Cubs 2016. Not saying we're going to win the Super Bowl, but that is going to be okay, we're expected to have a run at it. And I'm going to be sad if we don't, if we don't make it to the Super Bowl, don't make it to the NFC Championship at that point, because that's kind of the expectation that is being set. We will see. I think that can be determined a lot better this offseason, because it will be, okay, did we go crazy? Did we make a huge splash in free agency? What did we do in the draft? Did we make any more trades? This offseason might be the most important offseason of our lives. Truly, because it could set us back 10 years. It could, it just is what it is. We might get stuck in some big, heavy contracts that might absolutely screw us and put us right back to square one. Or this may be the start of the championship video, the Super Bowl video, what happened in this offseason. So, all right, got a ton of comments here. I'm going to go through them, make sure you all get on here. Let's see. Now we have to trust in our scouts to hit a few of these picks so we can plug and play. Absolutely. As a Ravens fan, I'm sorry, guys, but also thank you. You don't have to apologize. I'm very happy. So you're welcome. Enjoy him. Be nice to him. Treat him well. Let's see. Win-win. Hope the best for Roquan. Absolutely. Cowboys did run all over us, but Roquan didn't stop it. So I was watching the game. I'm sure you guys were too. Tony Pollard just running him over. He's just getting passes dumped over his head from Dalton Schultz, or not from Dalton Schultz, Dak Prescott to Dalton Schultz, obviously. Let's see. With as much cap space as we have, stockpiling draft picks, if we hit on these picks and get some good players on decent deals, could be a contender in the next year or two. Absolutely. And I think you might have said, oh, yeah, these are from way, way before. I apologize. I'll keep catching up here. I wouldn't be surprised if Monty gets traded next. Seems like they've been using Herbert more, and I think Monty has his contract coming up too. Yeah, definitely. I think we hit on this enough. Better get great free agents next year, if not going to use these trades for them. Yes, that's exactly what I was saying too. We gotta hit the ground running in free agency. It's a good offensive line free agency class. Hit the ground running, and then from there fill in the gaps. And I think these picks will help. I think obviously we'll have a plan going into free agency that if we don't, whatever we don't think we're going to meet, we'll address in the draft. And I have faith in Ryan Poles. He wanted to leave. Absolutely. Glad I didn't buy his jersey. I had a choice. I had an option when I bought this Fields jersey. Obviously, that was last year. But I'm happy I made the right choice. So let's see. We need blockers and catchers. We absolutely do. Happy about draft picks. Absolutely. The rest of the year for defense is going to suck. Yes. The rest of the year for defense is absolutely going to suck. Y'all saying get 3 wide receivers we can't even draft, right? It's different now. We have polls. Although Velus Jones was an interesting pick, I'm still holding out hope for him. I am a Velus Jones stan, and I know that hurts to say. But either way, let's see. All right, now you guys are just going Uh, there we go. Let the Ravens fight with Roquan's agent on a contract. Yeah, as we mentioned, Roquan being his own agent. He wants the bag, and he deserves it. Hey, fight for your money. I'll say that to anyone, not just in sports. Fight for your money. Fight for what you deserve, what you think you deserve. But also, don't get mad if people don't want to pay you. Like it is what it is. So that I agree. I think we might have saved ourselves a little trouble there um, if we weren't going to pay. So I'll do a couple more here. We'll round it out. Uh, we got some Ravens fans in here. I like it. Ariel and who was the other one? Chris Glazer. All right, let's see a couple more. I'm a Ravens fan. I don't like the trade. Second and fifth for a half season with Roquan before he's an undrafted free agent. Smith will be a great addition, but we need a wide receiver one to make a Super Bowl run. Otherwise, these are wasted picks. I agree. I do think that he's just a great player. He's an elite player. I think it helps. It does help the Ravens team. I do think it was an interesting decision where it was truly a best player available, I think, kind of trade, not a necessarily addressing their specific needs. I'm happy they did it because we got the picks out of it. But that works for me. Let's see. I like Brisker pick, but he should have grabbed Pickens. He's a killer for pick going forward. Mark my words. I mean, I think we could have gotten Pickens like I think with like 3 of the draft picks we had, right? I'd have to look at that. I don't know right away, but I was pounding the table for Pickens. I took him in my dynasty, 10-year long-term draft, fantasy draft. I love George Pickens. I do wish we got him. I think that was just that's one of those like DK Metcalf a couple years ago, one of those obvious like everyone kept passing on him knowing he was a great athlete because they were a little scared he was hurt. You got to take the swing, Steelers did, credit to them, but they have a lot more issues. So next year is going to be huge for us. 125 million in cap space plus all these draft picks, absolutely. If Justin Fields is on the Ravens, he'd be like or better than Lamar, but if Lamar was on the Bears, he'd look just like Fields or even worse. I agree. Sorry, Ravens fans that are in here. I hope this isn't offensive. I think Justin Fields is. I think this is a compliment to Lamar and also an absolute insult to the Bears, and I think it's accurate. I think Lamar now is different than Lamar when he was drafted. I would want it. I'd specifically amend this to say Lamar when he was drafted. I don't think that's an insult on his player, on his him as a player, on his character. I think it's just the Bears are horrific, and I think it's just trying to put it into perspective, how bad we are and how good he is doing to overcome all that. Let's see. It's not. Here we go. It's not Fields. It's the staff. It's putting him in position to succeed. Yes. Just to finish up on that. Okay. Oh man. Yeah, I don't know what you guys are saying anymore at this point. Just hating on the Cowboys, I think. I like it. Okay. So I see what the okay. All right. Oh, I didn't mean to do that one. Cowboys sucks. I agree. So I think we might here we go. Final one here. Inside linebacker was my main weakness on my Ravens defense, in my opinion. They have had issues for years since Mosley left. Okay. So that's fair. I'm not as in tune with the Ravens. I do think that I thought that maybe wide receiver would do them better than an inside linebacker, but if you guys are saying then that was a big need, then I hope it works out for everyone. I have nothing against the Ravens. I can't imagine we're going to meet in the Super Bowl anytime soon. So that would be a heck of a storyline if we did. Let's see. You have no idea how bad the Ravens are without Lamar. No. I know. Buddy, Lamar is incredible. I'm a Lamar lover. I want that to be very clear. I am not one of those Lamar should have been a running back guys. I'm a Lamar lover. So I think, and that's what I want Justin Fields to ascribe to being the guy that they don't just keep him in the pocket. He should never be a pocket passer. There's no reason at all. I felt like they were just trying to protect him maybe. I mean, well, Nagy was an idiot, but it felt like they were maybe trying to protect him by keeping him in the pocket. But he needs to be not run first, but know that that is probably his greatest strength. Although he is a good, they're both fine passers. They just are such elite runners. That's why I think it's an interesting comparison. I don't want to say they're exactly the same. Whatever. Lamar has progressed so much, and it's wonderful to see. It gives me hope as a Fields fan. So let's see here. So yeah, everyone's all in on the Sanborn stuff here. Lamar does not have a good running back like Fields. Fields got two. That is very true. And all right, so we're getting some interesting comments in here that will not be shared. So we're definitely gonna. Okay, we got a couple. Let's see what these young guys can do. Yes, agreed. Get the young guys in there. The season is purely just it's like tanking without like not like the NBA where you're just purposely sitting guys out, whatever. It's just, hey, if we find lightning in a bottle and we do well, apologize. If we do well, that's awesome. If we don't, we get great draft picks, and that's all you can ask for. I do agree with this here. Um, let's see. All right, Fields coming out had such crazy potential because of that sick deep ball. The deep passing game plus run game is a great combo. That is where Lamar has put a lot of work in since being drafted. Agreed, and that's why there's nothing more beautiful, I will say, than red zone. You're watching, whatever. I have the Bears game on the big TV, red zone on the little TV. All of a sudden, I see just the camera panning back, and it's a deep ball. It's Lamar just launching one up for some little receiver down the field. It is absolutely a thing of beauty, and that is my hope and dream for Justin Fields. And all right, we'll do two more. Fields and Lamar Jackson are dual threats. Hopefully, Fields can pan out to be like LJ soon. Totally agree with that. I hope Sanborn turns out to be the pride and joy of Illinois. I like it. I guess if you guys want to get your final comments in, just official grade. I guess grade the draft. Grade the official. Geez, my goodness, I've been doing this for 40 minutes. Grade the trade. There we go. Try saying that 5 times fast. Grade the trade. If you guys want to throw any more comments in, and then we will get out of here. Probably 2.5 minutes, unless no one else puts comments in. Then I will close out here and probably turn on Sports Center or something right away. Gotta take it all in. Big news day. I wonder if anything else has come out here. You guys can watch me scroll some Twitter here if you want to see. But I think overall, that's all the news. So subscribe to our YouTube channel. Just know that you're Chicago. Follow us on Instagram, whatever. We'll keep you up to date on this news. And if you subscribe here or if you subscribe to our YouTube channel, you will see these live events. We could talk to you guys. Obviously, I love everyone that was in here. Thank you so much. Even the trolls. I don't care. I love seeing what you guys have to say. It's a community, and that's what's beautiful about you guys coming in here. So, looks like here, we'll put up this last one because I disagree with it. We should have gotten players with these trades. Can't say it enough. I mean, we did get players with these trades. They're just not here yet. It's the best way I could say it. I hear what you're saying. We're not going to win this year. Like there's so much we have to do. We're not going to win this year. So I hear what you're saying, but yeah. Okay. So, I'm a Ravens fan. None of our content creators have posted anything yet, so I come to hear your side of it. Thank you, I appreciate that. If I don't know if you just jumped in here or whatnot, we're going with the grades, and I'll give my official grade at the end as well, and that'll kind of sum it all up. This video will go onto our YouTube page right after we end the broadcast here, so you can go back as well. So, reading off some grades here. Ernest Martin, I give it a solid A. I like that. Brianna Chase, B minus, since second round pick may be lower, along with the fifth two. Getting rid of a problematic player is best in the long run. And it's an interesting take. I don't know, it definitely depends on how you view what he's done the past few years. If you want to call it problematic, I think it's, you know he's fighting for himself, which I think is fair, but no value players. That wasn't a grade, and yeah, so I think we're stuck between a B minus and an A, considering no one else put any grades in the chat. So I will give mine, I think, B plus. I really think right in the middle of these two. I do agree that it's just below an A because I think these are going to be later round picks because the Ravens are good. However, I we weren't going to get anything, bro. We were probably just going to let him walk if we didn't franchise tag him. And if we franchise tagged him, I still think something. We still probably wouldn't have gotten anything in the end. And at that point, all we're hoping for is he becomes worse and we can offer him less, which is not a win at all. So, to kind of wrap everything up, thank you, Ravens, for the draft picks and taking our guy. Hopefully, I hope nothing but the best for Roquan and what he does for the Ravens. I think that's going to be a really fun defense to watch. So I think everyone wins here. Roquan's either going to get paid by the Ravens, they're going to be good now and for at least the foreseeable future. Good for him. And I think the Bears got what they wanted. They got rid of some what would have been salary if they signed him. Obviously, they didn't, but they also got draft picks, and they can either flip those for more picks, whether we're moving up, we trade the second and move back, acquire even more picks here. We know Poles likes to do that already. We can get those value players that Trip 2136 is yelling about. We can do that, or there's just a lot of options. We can just take those players and hope that they work out. And here we go. Final grade here. I give this a B plus for the Bears. I think I nailed that, and I agree with Mr. Harrington here, or Mrs. Harrington. I apologize, I cannot see your picture. I think with that we will probably wrap it up. Thank you everyone for tuning in. This is fun. We'll do this as much as we can. I'm sure there will be a lot of Bears news in the coming season. So we'll do this anytime we can. Thanks again for everyone for joining in, leaving all your comments in the chat. Thank you. Another final grade here. Nice little A by a Veroyalty. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Check us out on Twitter, YouTube. I'll throw up. I have no idea how to throw up my own Twitter thing. Nick usually runs this. So it's at JAYC Tony. Follow me there at official J Shy on Twitter and on Instagram. Thanks, guys, again for everything. Roquan is a Raven. The Bears are the proud owner of 2 new draft picks, and the defense might be interesting for the rest of the year here. Thanks again, guys. Have a great day, and stay tuned.